Hari Om. Welcome you all to the next topic of the fourth module in the information security course. We had already covered all these four topics regarding the principles of public key crypto system. Now in this video we are going to discuss the RSA algorithm. So one of the first successful public key cryptographic algorithm was actually developed in 1977 by these three gentlemen at MIT, and it was first published in 1978. And the RSA name specifies it is the author's name. These three researchers, let me say, these three researchers' name has given the cryptographic algorithm called as RSA scheme. This is the most widely accepted and implemented general purpose approach to public key encryption. So this is the most widely accepted public key cryptographic algorithm for encryption and decryption. Now if you take the RSA algorithm, the RSA scheme is a block cipher. So this is the point to be noted. In the first module, we discussed what you mean by a stream cipher, what you mean by a block cipher. So in the block cipher, instead of encrypting character by character or bit by bit, it will be encrypting a set of characters or a block of bits together. That is what you call as a block cipher. So in the block cipher, it will be having the plain text and ciphertext, and these plain text and ciphertext will be generally integers between 0 and n-1 for some n value which is known between the sender and receiver. And generally the typical size for n will be 1024 bits, or you can say it is 309 decimal digits. So the size of n will be generally lesser than size for n is 1024 bits. Therefore the value of n must be less than 2 power 1024, right? So the size of n is 1024 bits. That means the value of n will be lesser than 2 power 1024. So the maximum value that you can have for one block can be 2 power 1024. That is the maximum value you can have. So it ranges from 0 to 2 power 1024. Now the RSA algorithm makes use of an expression with exponentials, right? So when I say expression with exponentials, this is what you call as expression with exponentials, right? So it uses exponents for the plain text and ciphertext calculation. So we can say RSA algorithm makes use of an expression with exponentials. Now plain text will be encrypted in blocks with each blocks having a binary value, and the block size can be I bits where n ranges from 2 power I to 2 power I plus 1. So this is how a block will be defined for the RSA algorithm in the plain text or in the ciphertext, right? So the point to be noted here is if the block size is going to be I bits, then the value of n, right, the value of n, which will be the value of a particular block, because the block size is I bits, block in the size ആണ് I bits. അപ്പോൾ ബ്ലോക്കിൻ്റെ ഉള്ളിലുള്ള വാല്യൂവിനെയാണ് നമ്മൾ n എന്ന് റെപ്രസെൻറ്റ് ചെയ്യുന്നത്. ഇപ്പോൾ ഫോർ എക്സാമ്പിൾ, if the block size is 3 bits, then the value of n will be ranging from 000 to 111. So that is what is represented here, right? So n value will be between 2 power I to 2 power I plus 1. So this is the possible value that we can have for the blocks in the RSA scheme. Okay. Now, if you take the RSA scheme, the encryption and decryption is done with expression of exponents, right? So, we said it is going to use expression with exponentials. So, these are the expressions with exponentials that are used for encryption and decryption. So, let us assume the M is the plain text block. Remember, RSA is a block cipher. So when I say M, it is not a simple message. Instead, it is going to represent one particular block of the message. It represents one particular block of the message. Okay. And the ciphertext is represented as block C. So if I want to encrypt, you will be encrypting block M with E and N values, which will be generating the ciphertext C. And if you decrypt the C with D and N value, it will be generating the plain text block M. Okay. Now if you observe, C is represented as M power E. So M power E power D and M power ED mod N will be equal to M. So here plain text block M is equal to M power ED. E and D are the two values which are to be calculated and determined in the RSA algorithm. I repeat, E and D are the two values which are to be chosen and calculated. I repeat, E and D are the two important values that are to be chosen and calculated. That means E value will be chosen and D value will be calculated, right? So, using these two values, you can do the encryption and decryption process. Now, the condition here is when you choose the values of E and calculate the value of D, the condition is the plain text M must be equal to M power ED mod N. So, if this condition is satisfied, then you can make use of the E and D value for encryption and decryption. So, let us see how it is to be done. Now here the sender and receiver must know the value of n, which we had already discussed. The n value is some number n which is to be agreed between the sender and receiver. So the sender and receiver must know the value of n, and the sender knows the value of E and only the receiver knows the value of D. Okay. So that means E is going to become the public key and D is going to become the private key, right? I repeat, the sender and receiver will agree upon a value called n. Then the sender knows the value of E, which is public, and only the receiver knows the value of D, which is private. Okay. So this is a public key encryption algorithm with the public key as E comma n and the private key as D comma n. So that is why when we do the encryption process, we use E comma n, correct? E comma n, which is the public key. So we are encrypting with the public key and the private key is D comma n. So we are going to decrypt with D comma n, right? Where D comma n is the private key. So here in the RSA algorithm, encryption is done with the public key and decryption is done with the private key. Okay. Now, these are some of the requirements or the conditions, let me say. We had discussed in our previous video what are the 6 different conditions for a public key encryption system, right? So, these are the different conditions or the requirements for the RSA algorithm. Now we had already discussed we want to have the values like E, D and N for doing the encryption and decryption process, right? So if so, the condition here is it must be possible to determine the values of E, D and N such that it satisfies this particular condition. So that is what I told you here. When you are choosing E and D value, it must satisfy this condition. M must be equal to M power ED mod N. That is how you have to choose the values of E, D and N. So the first condition for the RSA algorithm is we have to determine the values of E, D and N such that it satisfies this particular condition for all the values which are lesser than N. N is an agreed upon value between the sender and receiver, right? So whatever be the maximum value you are going to represent as N, accordingly you have to choose the E and D values where it satisfies this particular condition. What is the condition? M power ED mod N must be equal to the plain text block M. So this is condition 1. What is the second condition for the RSA algorithm? The second condition is it must be relatively easy to calculate M power E mod N and C power D mod N for all the values of M, right? So though you are going to find out these values E, D, N with this particular condition, it must also be easy to calculate M power E mod N and C power E D mod N. We had already discussed what do you mean by EC. EC in the sense this calculation must be done in the polynomial time. Only then we call it as a EC to calculate. So that kind of function you have to define for the RSA algorithm. And not only that, the very important thing is it is infeasible to determine D value given E and N, because E and N are two public values, right, which you are going to publicize. Now even though E and N are available with the adversary, it must be difficult for the adversary to determine the value of D. That is how you have to choose the value of E, D and N, right? So I repeat, these are the 3 conditions for the RSA algorithm. In our previous video, we discussed what are the 6 different conditions for an algorithm to be called as a public key encryption system, right? So out of these 6 conditions, we are mentioning those conditions here for the RSA algorithm also, because it is the public key encryption system. And here the first condition says E, D, N are to be determined in such a way that it satisfies the condition M power ED mod N, which is equal to M. This is condition number 1. And condition number 2, it must be easy to calculate the M power E mod N and C power D mod N. So this is the calculation for the ciphertext and this is the calculation for the plain text. So this is the calculation used for encryption and this is the calculation used for decryption. So both encryption and decryption process must be easy. It means what? It must be calculated within the polynomial time. Okay, that is how you have to define the functions. And not only that, even though E and N are publicized, it must be very difficult to determine the D value, because D is the private key used in the RSA algorithm. Now, if you want to satisfy all these conditions, how the RSA algorithm can be designed, right? So, to satisfy these requirements or these 3 conditions, the RSA scheme must have the following ingredients. So if the RSA scheme has these values or these components, it can satisfy all these 3 requirements. Okay. So what are the different ingredients? First one, you need two prime numbers. Very important. These are the two prime numbers which are to be privately chosen, right? So it must be very secretly chosen by the sender and receiver, or probably the receiver, because here the receiver is the one who is going to generate the key. So if this is the case, these are the two prime numbers which are to be chosen privately by the receiver. Okay, so once these two values are chosen, we can calculate the n value, we can calculate the phi of n value, which can be publicized. So n value can be public and it can be calculated. It is a calculated one. Here we are going to choose these two values, but it is done privately. Once you have chosen these two values, n value can be calculated. So once it is calculated, n value can be publicized. Fine. Now the third component is the e value. Now if you are going to choose the e value, you can observe here again e value is a public value, but it is a chosen value. It is not calculated. But how do you choose it? What is the condition for choosing the e value? The greatest common divisor of phi of n and e must be equal to 1. This is the condition for choosing the e value, or you can put it this way, e value must be between 1 to phi of n, right? So if this condition is satisfied, you can choose any e value which is again a public value, right? So n and e values are publicized. Now you can observe, even though e and n values are publicized, it must be very difficult to determine the d value. That is how you have to choose these two values. Okay, fine. So once it is chosen, now the next thing is you have to determine the d value, right? Because that is a private key to be calculated. So d value, how do you calculate the d value? This is the condition for the d value. And you can observe here, d value is a calculated one and it is the private key value. Now the condition here is the product ED, E into D mod phi of n must be equal to 1. So this is the condition for calculating the d value, right? So you can calculate d value as e power minus 1 mod phi of n. Right? So this is a very simple condition that you have to have for calculating the d value. So now you have got two prime numbers. Using these two prime numbers, you have calculated the n value. Using the n value and phi of n value, you have selected an e value. Once e value is selected, you have calculated the d value. So now you have determined E, D and N, right? Now if you are going to choose the N value and E value as well as the D value with these conditions, obviously it will satisfy this particular condition. M power ED mod N will be equal to M. Okay. So these are the ingredients or components. And out of these components, we can say D comma N is the private key and E comma N is the public key for the RSA algorithm. Fine. So in the RSA scheme, let us assume if Bob wants to send a confidential message to Alice, right? Here observe, Alice is not sending, Bob is sending. Bob is sending a message to Alice, but it must be in a confidential manner. So what has to be done? Alice has to generate the public and private key. She is the receiver here and she has to generate the public and private key pair. That means what? She has to generate the E, N and D values. These three values have to be generated by Alice because these are the three keys, public and private keys used in the algorithm. So all these three values E, D and N must be generated by Alice. So once she has generated, she is going to publicize the public key. Which will be the public key? E comma n is the public key. So she will be publicizing the E comma n value to Bob, and Bob will be encrypting using her public key. Which is her public key now? E comma n is the public key. Then she will be receiving, Alice will be receiving the message, which is the encrypted or the ciphertext message, and this ciphertext will be decrypted using her private key. What is her private key now? D comma n is the private key using which she can decrypt the message. So this is the RSA algorithm. So for the key generation, Alice will be selecting P and Q, which are the prime numbers, and P must not be equal to Q. Then she calculates the n value. Then she calculates phi of n value. Then she selects an integer E, and the condition for selecting the integer E is the greatest common divisor of phi of n comma E must be equal to 1, and E must be between 1 to phi of n. And she has to calculate the D value in such a way that e power minus 1 mod phi of n is the D value. Then she publicizes E comma n because these are the public keys, and then the private key D comma n will be kept with Alice. Okay. So this is the algorithm for generating the key. So once the key generation is completed in the RSA algorithm, we can go for the encryption process. So who will be doing the encryption here? Bob is the sender. So he will be encrypting with the public key of Alice. So plain text must be lesser than n, which we have already discussed. The RSA scheme is a block cipher, so it has to decide a size for block, and the block will have the maximum value as n. Then the ciphertext can be calculated like this, and for the decryption again, using this expression of exponential or expression with exponential, the message plain text can be calculated or created. So these are the encryption and decryption process in the RSA algorithm. Okay. So let us see an example here. In the example, RSA algorithm is having the plain text as 88, and the E comma n value is 7 comma 187, and D comma n value is 23 comma 187. So if you have these values E, D, N and the plain text, you can do the encryption and decryption process. Okay. So how do you do the encryption? M power E mod N, right? E and N is 7, 187. M is the plain text block with value 88. So 88 power 7 mod 187 will be equal to 11. And this 11 will be generated as the ciphertext, and it will be received by Alice here, and Alice will be decrypting with her private key D comma n. What is the private key here? 23 comma 187. So for the decryption, what is the formula? C power D mod n, which will give you the plain text 88. Okay. So for this calculation, let us see how it is done. I'll show you an example here. We are not getting into the details of how it is being calculated. I will just show you the values here. Let us assume Alice selects these two prime numbers 17 and 11, and she calculates the n value 187, which is P into Q, and she calculates phi of n. This is phi of n, which is P minus 1 into Q minus 1, which will be 160. 17, so it is 16 into 10, so it is 160. Then she is going to select value of E such that E is relatively prime to phi of n, which is 160, and it is less than phi of n. So we are going to choose the E value as 7, let us assume, right? So this is the value chosen by whom? Alice. Then Alice is going to determine the D value. What is the condition for determining D value? ED must be equal to 1 mod phi of n, right? ED must be equal to 1 mod phi of n. That is a condition. So we are going to choose the D value as 23, because 23 into 7 will be equal to 161. So 161 will be equal to 160 plus 1, right? So if you have 160 plus 1, the resultant value will be 1. That means you will get remainder as 1, right? So if I want to get the remainder as 1, what you should have? It must be 161 divided by 160, right? So for which, if you want to get 161, 23 into 7 will give you 161. Okay. Now, once you have calculated the E value, D value and N value, the public and private keys will be 7. N value is 187, correct? N value is 187, which is equal to P comma Q. So N value is 187, correct? Now, what is the public key? E is the public key. What is the value of E? It is going to be 7. So 7 comma 187, correct? Then what is the private key here? D value, D comma N. So 23 comma 187 will be the private key. So these are the two key values that is chosen for this RSA algorithm. Okay. Now if she wants to send, if Bob wants to send the plain text input as M, which is equal to 88, this is how it will be encrypted and decrypted. Just now we had seen it. So in the encryption process, it has to calculate 88 power 7 mod 187. This is the encryption. Okay. 88 power 7 mod 187. So this is how we will be calculating it. 88 power 7 mod 187 will be expanded as 88 power 4 mod 187, 88 power 2 mod 187, 88 mod 187, mod 187, right? So here 88 power 4 plus 2 plus 1 will be equal to 7. Okay. Then you will get 88 power 1 mod 187 will be 88. Then 88 power 2 mod 187 will be 77. We are just simplifying it, right? So 88 power 7 mod 187, we are just simplifying it. But if your calculator, obviously in the computer, if you just give 88 power 7 mod 187, it will be simply calculating it to 11. Okay. And 88 power 4 mod 187 will be 132. Therefore 88 into 77 into 132 mod 187 will be equal to 11. Okay. So we get the ciphertext as 11. Now the same we are going to do for the decryption process also. Decryption is C power D mod N. Here C is 11, which is the ciphertext. D is 23 and N is 187. Okay. So we calculate the value of M the same way. Instead of directly calculating 11 power 23, we are going to simplify it with 11 power 80, 11 power 80, 11 power 4, 11 power 2 and 11 power 1. Right. So 88 plus 8, 16, 16 plus 4, 20, 20 plus 2, 22, 22 plus 1, 23. So power 23 you are getting. Right. So you just calculate it one by one and finally you will get this particular value, which will be decrypting it into 88. Right. So this is how the encryption and decryption will be done in the RSA algorithm. Encryption and decryption is done in this particular way. Now, the RSA algorithm can also be used to process multiple blocks of data. Actually, we had seen only one block, right? So, only one block which contains the value 88, right? So, it doesn't happen always as one block of information to be encrypted. You will have a longer message to be encrypted. So, if you have a longer message, the message is to be divided into multiple blocks and you encrypt or decrypt it as block by block. That is how we do that. Okay. So obviously RSA algorithm can be used for processing multiple blocks of data. So let us take a simple example. Now we are going to take a plain text which is an alphanumeric string. That means it can have alphabet 0 to 26 and the digits, digits or numeric values 0 to 9, right? Now each plain text symbol will be assigned to a unique code of 2 decimal digits 00 to 26, right? For the alphabets it is 00 to 26 as the alphabets, and for the characters digits also we are going to use this value. Okay. Now the plain text block will consist of 4 decimal digits or 2 alphanumeric characters. Okay. Now if you take 8, 2 characters are there. 8 is the first character, second character is 8, right? Like that you can have 2 alphanumeric characters or 4 decimal digits can be used, right? So this is how we are going to use for each character. For each character we are going to use 2 decimal digits for each character. If A എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞിട്ടുള്ള ഒരു character ആണെങ്കിൽ 2 decimal digits are used ചെയ്യുന്നത്. 26, 2 decimal digits. For small a we are going to use 0, 0. Okay. So obviously for each character I am going to use 2 decimal digits. Therefore, if I am going to have 2 alphanumeric characters in a block, it will give you 4 decimal digits, right? I hope you have understood how we are getting 4 decimal digits or 2 alphanumeric character. Here, for one alphanumeric character, we are going to use 2 decimal digits. Okay. ഒരു അൽഫാന്യൂമറിക് ക്യാരക്ടർ ഉണ്ടെങ്കിൽ ആ ഒരു അൽഫാന്യൂമറിക് ക്യാരക്ടറിന് നമ്മൾ 2 ഡെസിമൽ ഡിജിറ്റ് വെച്ചിട്ടാണ് റെപ്രസെൻറ്റ് ചെയ്യുന്നത്. ഓക്കെ, ഇഫ് ദാറ്റ് ഈസ് ദ കേസ് ഒരു പ്ലെയിൻ ടെക്സ്റ്റ് ബ്ലോക്കിൻ്റെ ഉള്ളിൽ നമുക്ക് 2 അൽഫാന്യൂമറിക് ക്യാരക്ടേഴ്സാണ് ഉള്ളത്. കറക്റ്റ്, 2 alphanumeric characters. So if you have 2 alphanumeric characters, obviously you will have 4 decimal digits. Okay, so if this is the case, observe this process how multiple blocks are encrypted here. Observe this process first. This is the example, then we will go for the general statement. This is the example. Now the sender wants to send a message called how are you. This is a longer message which is having more than 2 alphanumeric characters. So what you have to do, now this has to be divided into multiple blocks. How do you divide it into multiple blocks? ഒരു ബ്ലോക്കിൻ്റെ ഉള്ളിൽ നമുക്ക് 4 decimal digits or we can have 2 alphanumeric characters. So I am going to divide it as HO as the first block, WA as the second block, RE as the third block, YO as the fourth block, and U and a padding character can be the fifth block. Okay. So for H and O we have 33 and 14. So first block will be 33 and 14. Second block will be W and 62. WA. So W is 22 and A is 62. Then we have R and E. Here we have how hyphen, we have the underscore, so not hyphen, we have the underscore also. So how underscore r underscore u. Okay, so this underscore is represented as 62. So w and underscore will be in the second block, then a and r in the third block, then e and underscore. E is 04, underscore is 62 in the fourth block, then y and o in the fifth block, 24 and 14, then u and question mark in the sixth block, 20 and 66. That is how the message is divided into different blocks. Okay, so once you have divided it, you are going to encrypt it block by block. You can observe here how it is getting encrypted. First block is 3314, second block is 2262, and so on. So that is how it goes. Then it will be transmitted. Okay, now before that, the receiver will be generating the values of E, D and N. So she generates E value and P and Q value, from which she is going to generate E and N value, which will be publicized. Then she has to generate D comma N value, which is the private value for decryption. Then for this is the decryption process, and this is the encryption process. So here C1, C2, C3 are the ciphertext blocks. P1, P2, P3 are the plain text blocks. Okay, so this is how the RSA algorithm will be processing the multiple blocks of data, right? So one single message is now here divided into 6 different blocks. So multiple blocks are there, 6 different blocks. So the RSA algorithm will be encrypting and decrypting it as block by block. That is why we call the RSA scheme as a block cipher, correct? And each encryption will have 11 and 11023 as the public key, E comma N, E comma N. And each decryption will take D comma N, 5891111023, D comma N as the private key for decryption. So for P1, P2, P3, all these things it is using the same private key, and here for the calculation of C1, C2, C3 it is using E comma N as the public key, right? So if you have plain text, something like this, it will be now converted into decimal string. After converting it into decimal string, the blocks of numbers, so each block P1, P2, P3 will have 4 digits. Then these 4 digits will be given to the encryption process for generating ciphertext blocks. Then for generating the ciphertext, it will be using the public key E comma N. Then for generating the plain text in the decryption process, it uses the private key D comma N. So use the receiver using the random number generator, she will be generating E, P and Q. You know that P and Q are the chosen values, E is also a chosen value, whereas D and N are the calculated values. I repeat, E, P, Q are the 3 chosen values. So for choosing these 3 values, she can use a random number generator. Who will be doing it? The receiver will be doing it, right? So once these 3 values are chosen, she can calculate the D and N value. Simple. So once D and N values are calculated, it can be used as the private key, and this can be used as the public key, right? So this is how the RSA algorithm will be processing multiple blocks of data. So the only point to be remembered here is The plain text symbol, each symbol will be represented with 2 decimal digits. Therefore, each plain text block consists of 4 decimal digits, which is equivalent to 2 alphanumeric characters. So that is why here we are having 2 alphanumeric characters, 8 and 8. Okay. So with that we are completing the description of the RSA algorithm with an example, and also we discuss the multiple block processing also. We will discuss more examples in the upcoming video. So here we have talked about what is the RSA scheme, and in the RSA scheme what is the function used for encryption and decryption, and what are the two keys, public and private keys, used in the encryption and decryption process, and what are the requirements or the conditions for the RSA algorithm. Then we talked about the components that can be used or the ingredients that are used in the RSA scheme. Then we talked about the RSA algorithm, how the receiver Alice will be generating the key, and how encryption will be done by the sender Bob, and how the decryption will be done by the receiver Alice. Then we had seen an example, and we also talked about how the RSA algorithm can be used for processing multiple blocks. Okay, so we'll be discussing more examples in the upcoming video. Thank you.